Let me show you how to make this quinoa black bean salad that never disappoints. Start off by soaking your bean overnight. I am using half cup of bean and I'm just going to cover that and let that sit on my counter overnight. Next, you want to pre-wash your quinoa overnight as well. Very important because you want to toast these once they're dry in the morning. Okay, so once the water run clean, it is all clean. So I'm going to put this here to hang out on my counter and this will be ready tomorrow. I'm taking that soaked black bean and I'm just going to add that to some water with some salt and I'm going to pop that on the stove for about 10 minutes. I'm looking at my quinoa. I'm going to also take some salt, 1 cup of water. This is 1 cup of quinoa, soaked quinoa, and I'm just going to add my salt 1 time to my water. So once it's finished toasting, this is all ready to go. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. This is optional. Add your pre-washed quinoa to the dry pot and you want this to toast until you start hearing that popping song. I'm working on a big pot of soup here as well, guys. And you want to just keep stirring that. Now, this is not the correct pot, so I do have to keep an eye on this. And you would notice that it would start steaming and making that popping song. Once it gets like that for about 7 minutes, add the water and the salt mixture. Let that come up to a simmer and you just want to cover that and let that cook for about 15 minutes. It's that easy. Once your quinoa is finished, you want to put it on a drying tray and let that dry for about 30 minutes to an hour. Spread it out because you want this to be a bit grainy. You don't want it to be saggy or too sticky. My black bean have been cooking. I drained it and as you can see, it is cooked perfect. All right, now let's prep our ingredients for this salad. I'm using a whole mango and I'm just dicing everything. Okay, I tried making this with peaches before, but I prefer making this with mangoes. And you just want to dice these mangoes in some nice little cubes. Okay. Next, I'm also dicing some peppers. You can use whichever pepper you prefer and just dice these in nice little cubes. Again, if you want these more chunky, by all means, whatever your taste preference is, that's what we're aiming for. Okay, and now we're going to get started on the salad dressing. I am using some ground cumin. This is 1.5 teaspoon of ground cumin, as well as some olive oil and some garlic. I'm also using some fresh lemons, as well as some cilantro. And I am going to grind my cumin. Make sure it's nice. You can also use regular cumin, but I prefer to grind fresh seeds. I'm going to clip up my cilantro since I'm not cutting it up. Add my lemon juice and I am just going to use an immersion blender and I'm going to blend this. Add your salt and of course add your pepper to taste. And we are just going to be blending this to creamy, nice and smooth. You can blend this in whatever you have on hand. I prefer this method. Now I'm going to add my beans and my quinoa to these containers so I can store them in the fridge. And here we have it. Now let's assemble a little dish and I'll show you guys how we do this. Now what I did forget to add was my avocados, but I did add it eventually. This plate was for my daughter, which she loves. So I'm just adding about 1/4 cup of everything and we just mix and we enjoy. So easy. This is such a great dish for a meal prep and it stores really well. So thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.